Hey everybody, I'm here today with a review of a paintball field. I'm going to talk about Cousins Paintball in Staten Island, New York, which is pretty local to me. It's about 25 minutes away, so I've been playing there a bit recently. It's a smaller field. The fields themselves, they have one bigger field that's medium to small as far as a woods ball field goes. They have a small, about 3-man hyperpipe field, an airball field, which I have not played on. It's never been set up when I was there because I've primarily gone there in the winter, so it wasn't set up. And then a number of small to medium-sized woods ball fields. Now, these fields, they're considered woods ball, but for the most part, they're pretty sparse and open. The bunkers are mostly either pallets, wooden pallets or plastic pallets, or like stick bunkers and stick piles, branches, and occasionally they have taller things that are fence sections and a couple of structures on some of the fields. So it's woods ball, but it's really, there's not a lot of natural cover, there's not a lot of soft cover, though there are some good sized trees in there that you can use. It's a much more open form of woods ball and faster paced, closer to a hybrid woods ball speedball kind of thing than just pure woods ball where there's a lot of soft cover, a lot of brush that will inhibit long distance shots, and a lot of brush that will inhibit your view without necessarily preventing a paintball from getting through. You don't have a lot of that there. The size of the fields goes from very small to about medium sized for woods. The smallest one is so small it's from the beginning from one corner to the other, and it's roughly a square shaped field, but and you play diagonally from one corner to the other. Starting point is a pretty clear shot. It's a little long, but it's not an impossible shot to make without the aid of an apex or a flat line, so that should give you an idea of the size of the field. The other fields get considerably larger than that. The biggest one is probably 10 or 12 times that size and very comfortably can hold 20, 25, even more people on each side. But even that larger field for woods ball is still relatively sparse. There's not a lot of brush or soft cover or anything like that. One thing I do like about many of the fields is that they have differences in elevation. So you have little hills, you have little ditches, so you can use the terrain for cover itself rather than relying on just the bunkers that are there. So I think that's a really cool touch, and I really like that in some of the fields, especially, it gives you some moving lanes that you wouldn't otherwise have. So those are the fields. They're good. The price, it costs, if you go, it's field paint only. So if you have paintballs, it's $30 to play for a day of walk-on. But they have things like where you can pay $50 and get a bag of paintball with entry. So it's like, I don't know, 30 for the entry, 20 for the bag, something like that. It's not a bad deal. I play, mostly pump or stock class semi with the stick feed in the on my semis, so a bag of paint is all I need for the day, so that works for me. The cases, I think, are about 65 bucks, or about $65 for a case. It's not great paint, but it's also not terrible field quality paint. It's decent paint, so 60 to 65 for a field paint only field is about average, and it's pretty fair, I think. One thing I really like about this place, the couple times I've been there, is the ref staff has been excellent. There are a couple refs in particular that are really fantastic and are absolutely on top of things. They do a really good job not just with safety, making sure everyone's on top of barrel covers and masks, but they also do a really good job of dividing the teams evenly between the games and making sure that it's not all the renters on one side and all the electro people on the other side. And that's something that, a lot of fields don't do, and you end up with these really lopsided games. The newer players get hammered, and then they're hesitant to go back on the field. Well, this place, that will never happen. They're really, really good about balancing the teams, and if the teams seem unbalanced, they'll ask everybody if it's okay, and then after the game, if one side gets rolled, they'll shuffle them up right away without even running the two games on the same field. Normally you run one game and then switch the sides, run it again. That is a major point that a lot of fields don't do, and I really, really, really like that. But related to that is safety, and the way this field is, as I said, the refs pretty much on top of things. They're really good about making sure that the teams are fair. They have a 10-foot surrender rule, and they do enforce it pretty strictly. The dead zone is this big netted area in the by the entryway with field, and then there's a path leading out from it with fields on either side. The netting is high enough. There are no holes, rips, tears in the netting. There's no parts where the netting is falling down. And the way you get in and out, it's actually a double netted area, so there's a little room in the nets. You go through one thing into this little compartment, and then you got to turn to go through the next part to get actually onto the field, which is really good because it gives you this little leeway where you can remind people about masks and barrel covers and such. So that's handy. And I got to say this: the times I've been there, the crowd has been, for the most part, very good. Lots of very friendly people, nobody with attitudes for the most part, and I've never seen cheating or wiping or anything there. I'm sure it happens, but I've never witnessed it when I was there. So that's my quick and dirty review of Cousins Paintball in Staten Island. Give it a try. Hope I see you there soon.